Okay, so I did a video on Iron Man, the Stark Roxxon Wars Part 1 a while ago. I did Part 2 earlier this week, and I just finished Part 3. And to me, this was a great trilogy because it did so many things. You start off with Iron Man in peril and having to fight his way up. He's like a Rocky character in number 1. And in number 2, he was like Rocky in the next movie, fighting his way back from getting the beat down and getting the upper hand and being the Tony Stark Iron Man that we're used to seeing, using his mind and his mechanical muscle to get the better of a situation. And in part 3, he had the moral victory, the intellectual victory. Pretty much, I'll read you a little bit of preamble so you can be caught up on where we are in the story if you haven't been following the latest Iron Man book. Tony Stark fighting for control of Stark Unlimited against a conglomerate of Roxxon and a shady science organization, AIM, who have teamed up to acquire Tony's company and drag it back into the arms dealing business. To make matters worse, Tony's suits have been rendered useless by a magical virus courtesy of Justine Hammer, back from the dead and working for Roxxon. Stealing Tony's supply of Mysterium, a rare anti-magic metal, she created a deadlier than ever Ironmonger suit. That suit is amazing. While recovering from a fight with Justine, Tony cobbled together some new armor, weaponry, including a massive iron sword, but brute force is little match for Tony's other adversary, AIM scientist Supreme Monica Lapuccini, especially now that she has one of the world's foremost magic users, Dr. Druid, under her control. Dr. Druid trapped Tony in a nightmare's vision to waylay him from attending the Stark Unlimited board vote. Tony broke free with minutes to spare, only to be attacked by his old nemesis, Force. This was a very, like I said, I enjoyed the book. It started with a very fun fight scene, and he breaks into the board meeting just in time to try to convince the board members not to merge with AIM and Roxxon, and the representative really lays it on thick, Miss Hammer. They're going to call the new company Starkson, and he vows to fight him in court and to, this isn't over, and your general, hero banter. And as he's walking out, they push him a little too far. They demand not only his company, but the suit that he had cobbled together that he was wearing. And that apparently was a bridge too far. And Justine Hammer puts on the Mysterium Ironmonger suit, which is incredible. It is huge. It is at least 3 Hulks. And we have an epic battle. But that battle is interrupted by the mysterious backer of this big merger, who is an entity we don't meet yet. We meet his representative, and apparently it is somebody who has godlike powers to resurrect people, namely Miss Hammer, and who can not only guarantee money, but an afterlife and, riches beyond their imagination. Even the board members that were loyal to Tony, when all this was put in front of them, they were ready to go. They were ready to merge. But in a twist, we're used to seeing Tony again. I mentioned this in my last review. This run of Iron Man has made Tony more likable to me because he's humble and he's not just punching his way out of everything. And he uses his mind, and he convinces them that he is such a pain in the ass that it would not be worth it. He reminds them of all his battles at Roxxon and all their past dealings that Tony has always devastated him. And, he even told Dr. Druid, hey, show him, because he's some kind of, the ability to, almost like a precog. And he ran, he ran the odds, and he's like, yeah, Tony always wins. And he proved himself to be such a relentless pain in the ass as head of the Avengers or was it Avengers or Shield? Yeah, both. That the mysterious backers decided to walk away from the deal. And I thought, like I said, I thought that was a nice twist because, he even says here that, they say that, earlier in the issue, they said, you cannot Iron Man your way out of this problem. And by the end of it, he's like, what you guys said about me not being able to Iron Man my way out of this problem, you're correct. But Tony Stark could handle it, and Tony Stark did. It wasn't about punching or lasers or brute force. It was about the power of his mind and, tapping into other skills that he has. And to me, if you ask me what this 3-book arc was all about, I think it was kind of a rehabilitation of the Tony Stark character, at least to me. Because, like I said, I wasn't really a big fan of Tony Stark. Personally, I think he's kind of like an opposite Superman. Whereas to me, Superman is super boring because he's the vanilla good guy. Tony Stark is just very unlikable because he's cocky and arrogant. And he's just kind of a prick for a superhero. But in this, they really humanized him and humbled him and really put him in peril. And so I enjoyed that aspect of it. I'm really, really looking forward to number 4 to see where this new arc leads. And this mysterious backer, if they're as powerful as we presume they are, they're not just going to go away. And so we're going to have that seed that was planted in this book. I think it's going to come. It has to come back around because you can't introduce a big character, a big force like that in T-Universe without paying it off. It's like Chekhov's gun, If you're gonna introduce it, you have to pay it off. And so really I'm excited about that, and it's something that can, be in the background lurking throughout countless books, something that I hope they revisit. So that's been my thoughts on Iron Man, the Stark Roxxon War Part 3. Looks like number 4, we're going to be getting a new story arc. And, get to see Tony kind of rebuild his company in this new image of going green and getting out of weapons manufacturing. And so it's gonna be interesting. We've seen Tony really build some new skills dealing with bureaucracy and problems that he can't just punch his way out of. So if you're not reading this, I can't suggest it enough. You can find it at your local comic book store. And if you don't have a local comic book store, you should visit coffeeandacomic.com. They ship nationwide. They have great service, great prices, and they even have features like a shipping subscription. I pay one low monthly fee and I get books sent out to me weekly from California to Wyoming at my front door. Comic books every week, and you can see how safe and secure they ship them with my unboxings every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. So I will see you guys next time. Until then, keep reading them books. I'm out.